Hi guys, an interesting one for you this morning and something to ponder. It's going to be a bit of a chatty ramble because you know what I'm like. But I want to talk about energy flow. This is your own personal energy and discernment. And now the reason this is coming up is that I've actually made some quite big decisions about my work life over the last couple of weeks. And I can't be all things to all people at all times. So I've had to make some pretty big changes in how I work and what's coming up this year. And I've got to say, I really struggled with it because I was going through this internal battle of, I've got puppies due in a couple of weeks' time. And there was this real battle about serving you guys with what you want and what you need from me. And then there was the pull of what the puppies and what I want to do with the pups. And I'm going to be keeping one and training and working with one of them. And I was in this real, I said juxtation point. I was at this real point of, I was getting in a real stew and being pulled in all kinds of different directions. And I had to completely stop, and thankfully a really wise friend came to the rescue and I chatted it through with them. And it was something I suddenly had complete clarity. And it's about, where was my energy going? What was I wanting to really do? And what I was wanting to really do is take some time to be with my girl who's having puppies, but also to spend time and put the effort. And I know how much effort is contained in dog training. I've done it a couple of times now. Well, partially on one and full on, the absolute full Monty on another. And I know how much it takes mentally, emotionally and spiritually. But of course, I've also got a job to do, which is, you know, working with you guys. And it's really sort of pulled me around on what I do and what I don't do. And so the decision that I've come to is that actually I'm not going to be doing any one-to-ones, certainly for the first half of this year. I don't see, excuse me, my runny nose, it's cold in here. I don't see that I'm going to have the capacity or space to do any one-to-one clients, certainly for the first half of this year. Whether I have any for the second half of this year, I don't know. But what I am doing is I'm actually doing an awful lot of teaching. And that's what's been one of the things I've been doing over the last couple of weeks is, oh my God, I've been writing workshops. You're in for such a treat. There's so many workshops coming up through the first part of this year. And some of them have been, you know, I've taught a few times and they've all had to they've all been overhauled. They've all got a fresh energy to them. And this is where my energy is going. It's about teaching. It's going into workshops. It's not doing the one-to-ones at this moment in time. So, and this is what I wanted to talk to you about. So do you check in with yourself about where your energy is really sitting? Are you being really true to yourself about where your energy is sitting and what you really want to do? Are you following your bliss? I know we talk about this with the dragons. There's some of the dragons bang on about quite a lot. Following your truth, following your bliss, what makes your heart sing. All of those phrases that the dragons use. But how often do you really stop and fully check in with yourself about what you want to do? And sometimes you get yourself in, you know, you may get yourself in such a pickle like I did last week or the week before, that I needed to bounce it around with a really trusted friend who was wise and said, look, don't throw the towel in. Don't chuck it all in the fuck it bucket. Mothball some of it. Where's your energy sitting? Where's your flow going? What do you really want to do? And from there, I was able to work out or discern where my energy and my joy was flowing. So you may need to chat it through with somebody that's not non-judgmental, that will just, you know, maybe ask some probing questions, but non-judgmental, and look at where your work and where your energy or where your joy is really flowing to, because that's what makes it all the better. That's what creates, that's what manifests, that's why everything will, you know, if you're in that point of flow and that point of joy, everything goes with great ease. It manifests easily. It flows in and it flows out with ease, with grace, without any kind of having to force it, without having to push and fight and battle. Because the fight and battle is frequently the inner conflict, because you're conflicting of what you should do, what you ought to do, what's expected of you, or what you perceive others to expect of you, rather than what you really want to do. And following that joy, it just makes it so much easier. So although I'm not doing one-to-ones, and other stuff has got parked this year, what I am doing is a lot of teaching, and I've brought in, I'm back doing in-person work as well. So from February the 4th, I've got a 14-week accredited tarot course running. So that takes me right through to May. That's once a week. I think we've got a break over Easter, but ultimately it's once a week. 25th of February, I'm working for the College of Psychic Studies. I've got some notes here, so I've got a lot of workshops coming up. So 25th of February, I'm working for the London College of Psychic Studies, and I'm working with Mary Magdalene and the Sapphire Rays, if you'd like to join me on that. 5th of March starts a 4-week course with the dragons. And this is working with your dragon team. So this is the dragon meditation, meet your team, your dragon team. So this is your healer, your spiritual guide, your spiritual teacher, and your guardian. So each week we'll do one of them. And it'll be about working with your, getting to know your dragon team. And that's online. That starts on Saturday, I think it's a Sunday. It's Sunday the 5th of March. April the 1st, I'm back in London, because the Magdalene one is online with the college. And the 1st of April is in person in London, working with the Avery Matriarch. So this is healing the ancestral line and finding empowerment. And that's had quite a big rewrite, actually, the Avery Matriarch workshop. This is some of the stuff that I've been doing over the last few weeks. So I've been looking at all my workshops, feeling in, again, following that discernment, feeling that energy of what wants to come out this year, what needs to flow this year. Where are the dragons sitting energetically? What do they want me to share? Where's the energy of the planet, the collective? I've been feeling into all of that stuff to bring these workshops forward this year. So Avery Matriarch is empowerment and healing the ancestral line. That's in person in London. Easter weekend, so Saturday of the Easter weekend, which is the 8th of April, I'm running an in-person dragon fire ceremony. And it coincides, or it's just after the full moon. So it's a perfect time to do fire dragon ceremony with me, releasing what no longer serves you, tapping into letting that stuff go, the shoulda, woulda, couldas, and anything else that you want to chuck in the fire with a fire dragon. And we've got a shared supper afterwards, which I prepared, which is vegetarian. And that's here at Dragon HQ. So those of you that have been to Dragon HQ know what a beautiful space we've got here. And I'm sort of very blessed and very honoured that I'm able to live and work in such a fantastic space. So that's a Saturday afternoon on the 8th of April. So it's late afternoon. I think it's something like sort of 5:30 through till 8. And that's in person, working with Fire Dragon at full moon on the 8th of April. And then online on the 23rd of April is the Dragons of Atlantis. I actually ran this workshop for the very first time in 2007. And I've run it a couple of times since. And it was time to bring that back. So that also has had a big overhaul, been working with the dragons on the shifts and the changes, and some almighty understandings have come in. That was only yesterday. It's like, oh God, that's what that's all about. It's only taken 17 years, but hey ho. Excuse me while I choke. Bear with me just a minute. There we go. Oh, talking the truth makes you choke. Oh dear. Maybe I'm oversharing there. Anyway, the stuff with the dragons can take years. It can take such a long time to understand what they're talking about and sharing. And suddenly it dropped in with complete clarity yesterday. So, Dragons of Atlantis have had quite a big overhaul from a workshop point of view. So, be working with your Merkaba, your light body, working with the Dragons of Atlantis, all that kind of thing. And then the last one is that so far for this year, I think that's quite enough for the time being, is the Dragon Chakra workshop. So this is working with the dragons and the chakras, because there are dragon chakras, or dragons that connect to the chakras. Now, I ran this online a couple of years ago, and it's like, time to bring that one back too. So that's I've had a look through that one. There's a little bit of work to do around that one, to update it and bring it up to what the dragons are saying. So that's what I'm doing. I'm doing workshops this year. I'm not doing one-to-one, certainly for the first half of the year. I've got puppies to deal with, which is very exciting, if a tad terrifying. And yeah, I will be doing shows and fairs locally. So anybody does want a reading with me, you can find me at the local shows or fairs in and around sort of the Hampshire, Wiltshire areas is where I'm going to be. And that's sort of it from me. So just to recap, where's your energy flowing? What are you feeling about something you've got to do? And sometimes we do need to push through. It's because it's a challenge and it's taking us out of our comfort zone, and we've got an awful lot to learn, and we can grow massively from it. What that's where the discernment comes in. What is it you really want to do? And is it pushing you out of your comfort zone because you need to do it? Or is it actually something you really don't want to do and that's it? Or is it something you do want to do, but you're not comfortable, you're a bit, oh, I don't know if I can do that. Check in with your energy, with your flow, and listen to it. Connect with your heart, because that'll be where the truth will really sit. And sit with it and see where it leads you. I'd love to know your thoughts on flow and discernment. And of course, let me know about the workshops. They're all on my website. You can check in on those and see if they appeal to you. Anyway, enough waffle from me. Big love, and I shall catch you later. Bye.